Are you looking for inspiring conversations about faith, film, and life? You're in the right place. Here's the host who knows the right questions to ask, Father Edward Looney.
Hey everybody, it's Father Edward here, and bringing you another conversation about film. I saw the movie My Penguin Friend a little while ago, pre-screener link, so saw it in advance of its theatrical release, and today I'm speaking with the producer and financier behind it, Jonathan Lim, and he is a physician turned entrepreneur, investor, filmmaker, and philanthropist, and he's really putting out movies and financing and helping with films that he thinks can make a difference. And so very grateful for this conversation to talk a little bit about this movie coming to theater. So thanks so much, Jonathan, for your time.
Thank you, Father Edward. It's really a privilege to be here. So very
Yeah,
grateful.
so tell me a little bit. My Penguin Friend, I watched it. It's a cute little story. It's based on a true story. And kind of the premise is this penguin, he returns for several years to the same home for a certain set of time, and then he leaves, and then he comes back the next year. And it kind of tells the story not only of the penguin, but also of the individual who is who hosts the penguin, who befriends and helps the penguin. So tell me, like, how did you first hear about this story, so much so that you wanted to help fund and produce the film as well?
Well, first of all, I love penguins. So, in fact, when I first met my wife in college, I noticed that she actually walked like a penguin. It was really funny and very cute. And she and I laugh about it. But I've always loved penguin films and movies about penguins. And in this case, City Hill Arts was looking for inspiring content to tell meaningful stories, some of which are based on true stories. And the fact that this really happened in terms of the Brazilian fisherman coming across an Argentinian penguin all covered in oil. And then after nursing him back to health, this penguin swam thousands of miles to go visit his fisherman friend. And so that blew up on social media in 2016, 2017 timeframe. And then, when we came across the script, so Steve Wagner brought it in from Nico Weinberg, who is another producer. Both of them are producers on this film as well. When Nico first brought this story to City Hill Arts, it wasn't ready for prime time at that time. So after 20 rewrites, though, it was ready. And so then we were able to attract Jean Reno, and then filmmakers like David Sherman, the director, was already attached, but we were able to attract Anthony Dodd Mantle, who won the Oscar for his cinematography of Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh,
And so
wow.
that's why the overall look and feel of the movie is so incredibly beautiful, from David and Anthony's shared vision there. But it was really, I think, the essence of the story and the friendship that really drew us to this project.
Yeah, I think a lot of movies, they kind of have like what I would call a thesis as an academic, but maybe we'd call just a lesson. I just saw the new movie Twisters that's out in theaters. And, kind of when I walked away from that movie, I thought to myself, well, Twisters, it's the story of this lady refinding her mission after tragedy. And so kind of her going back to her roots in a sense, and being comfortable doing so. Now, I'm wondering, with My Penguin Friend, what's the lesson? What's the thesis that you want people to walk away after they see it?
I think there's a few embedded themes, but the main one here is really about how friendship has the power to transform this family, and to be able to overcome a tragic past. And so I think that's one element. Another important theme here is stewardship, in terms of just the importance of being wise stewards of this beautiful planet and the inhabitants that are in it. And really, it's I think just a lot of embedded themes in the underlying this beautiful story.
For me, as I watch it, and of course, I'm watching it as a person of faith and as, a priest and commentator as well, I just was really struck by the fact that penguins, for example, they kind of have this innate GPS, and that he was able
Kind of amazing.
to swim back all that way. And so, it kind of, to me, I walked away thinking, this is an amazing creator God that we have, that would allow an animal to be able to go on such a journey and to do it for many years. And I just was kind of in awe of creation in that sense.
I feel the same way. And what's amazing is that scientists have tried to displace penguins and put them in out to sea, hundreds of miles from where they originally are. And to your point, they have penguin GPS that brings them with super high precision back to their nest on shore. So, God designed these creatures in just an amazing way. And then on the film itself, we had 10 different penguins play the role of Dindim the penguin, because each penguin has his own, its own unique personality and character traits. And so it's really hard to get a penguin to, for instance, leave its mates and walk towards the ocean. And so when we had to show Dindim leaving for his home, there was only one of the 10 penguins named Maui that was willing to be independent enough to walk away from his mates. So we
Ah.
called him the Tom Cruise penguin because he was a maverick and broke ranks. And then Theodora was very relational. So when we needed sort of a very tender scene, we'd put Theodora in there. So it's really amazing, just even within a given species, how they had different character traits and personalities.
So what you're saying is that multiple penguins played the key penguin. And so where do you get the penguins from? You go to like a sanctuary, you go to a zoo. How did you get the penguins?
Well, originally we were going to shoot the film in the Canary Islands because there's a really nice tax incentive there. But they had the wrong species of penguin. They had a Magellanic, they had a Humboldt species, and Dindim is a Magellanic. And to you and me, we probably wouldn't really notice the lack of a stripe that separates them. But for us as filmmakers, it was really important to tell an authentic story. And so we found an aquarium in Ubatuba, Brazil, that had 10 rescue penguins, and they all look identical. And so we were able to use all 10 to play the role of one penguin. And it was 24/7 care by the veterinarians and the penguin trainers. We built a penguinarium in the middle of the jungles of Brazil and had fans blowing on the penguins to keep flies and insects and mosquitoes away from them. And we used anti-infective sprays to really clear the path for them in the villages and to make sure that they were free of any pathogens. So the care and feeding of these penguins really was another amazing aspect of this production.
Yeah, this is kind of a behind the scenes things that normal people, normal viewers going to the theater or watching the movie, they're not going to think of, how did they get the penguins? And, they won't realize. But now, if I go back and watch it again, maybe I'll notice, oh, that is a different penguin. But yeah, kind of an insider scoop there. So when does My Penguin Friend hit theaters? And yeah, what are your expectations for it?
Yeah, so My Penguin Friend is being distributed by Roadside Attractions. They've really been a great partner for us, and we're planning a widescreen release on more than 1,000 theaters on the weekend of August 16th. So it's coming up soon, less than a month away, and really that opening weekend is really important. We're an independent film company, and so it's really important to have as many people come to the theater as possible, which sets the trajectory for how well this film will perform during the theatrical window, which can be as short as 1 or 2 weeks and as long as 45 days. And we really want as many people to come to the theater to see this so that we can make other films like this for that can inspire audiences and families of broad age range.
Yeah, so coming theaters August 16th. You mentioned other films, wanting to make other ones. I know that you have some already that you've done. Is there a project already that you're working on or have a vision for?
Yeah, so working on a number of other projects, including one about Genesis 1:1 to 2:3. So it's called In the Beginning. And it's really about the story of God's creation. And really, it's going to be a cinematic spectacle. And so we're really excited about that one. We're working on a documentary called How I Faked My Life with AI. So it's about the promise and perils of artificial intelligence, which is a very timely theme these days. And then we also working on a project called Last Days with Jonathan Lim, who worked on Better Luck Tomorrow as an independent film, and then has worked on some of the Star Trek movies as well as Fast and Furious. And so he's telling a beautiful story about John Allen Chow, a Christian missionary that visited North Sentinel Island. So that really is a story about what unites us and the common elements of humanity.
Yeah, all exciting projects. But of course, the first one, My Penguin Friend, go see it in theaters. It's one of those lovable animal movies that I think people will really enjoy. So thanks so much, Jonathan, for financing it, producing it, and sharing a little bit more about it and giving us that behind the scenes look.
Thank you, Father Edward. Great talking to you.
If you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening. And don't forget to stay up to date with what Father Edward is doing by following him on Facebook, X, or Instagram at the handle @FrEdwardLooney. Thanks for listening, and please join Father Edward again next time for another inspiring conversation.